Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I'd like to introduce Jim Smith, who I consider to be a Steve Reeves lookalike. When the first time I saw this young bodybuilder on the articles in Your Physique magazine, I couldn't help but notice his similarity in his face especially, and his physique to Steve Reeves. I actually thought it was a photo of Steve Reeves of him actually performing a most muscular pose. And as I read further on, I realized it was a different bodybuilder that I had never encountered before. So I thought I'd share a little bit about him as well as his workouts. The similarity in his face, at least in first appear, my first impression was, wow, I mean, is this Reeves? But no, it isn't. It's actually another bodybuilder who was also in a very Herculean pose, as you can see there. But yeah, the similarity was very striking. So let's have a look at this silver era bodybuilder, Jim Smith. So Jim Smith came 5th in the 1949 Mr. America, and as far as I know, never actually won any significant competitions. As a youth, he played basketball, football, and track and field, which gave him a strong foundation. And by 18 years of age, he was 5'9" at 170 pounds. With neck, arms, and calves of 15 inches and chest 41 inches, waist of 34, and thighs of 22 inches. Not a bad start, not a bad foundation for a young bodybuilder. Now, after 3 years of training with weights, Jim Smith made some serious gains. At 21 years of age, he was now 5'10" at 200 pounds. His neck, arms, and calves all measured at 18 inches on the tape. His chest had grown to 49 inches, waist had reduced to 32 inches, and thighs had grown to 26.5 inches. So overall, he actually gained 30 pounds of muscle, lost 2 inches around the waist, and increased actually his height by 2 inches. Similarly, his training partner, who I featured recently, Malcolm Brenner, also has reported an increase of 5.5 inches after weight training. And I'm only mentioning this because I've been asked several times by some people, does bodybuilding or weight training increase your height? I don't necessarily think it increases your height. I know that bodybuilding or weight training has an effect on your hormonal system, and therefore human growth hormone can be produced at a slightly higher level. I think, if anything, these forms of exercises may simply help you fill out faster and reach your true potential. Having seen this amazing transformation of this young Jim Smith, it was no wonder that he was called the California Hercules. I mean, a massive frame he developed over 3 years. Incredible transformation, I have to admit. Now, here is Jim Smith's actual full body training routine. No surprise, full body training routines were the staple in the silver era of bodybuilding. He trained actually 4 times a week, and he claims that for competition he actually trained every single day. Wow, that's incredible. He doesn't recommend this, of course, for a beginner. It's just way too much. He recommends starting off with some basic exercises, anywhere between 8 to 10 exercises, and increasing the exercises that you use for each body part gradually. Of course, it took him 3 years to develop such a physique, and therefore the capability of handling such a routine. His warm-up is using 2-arm snatches. No surprise, many of these silver era bodybuilders used weightlifting. That's just his warm-up, weightlifting. Wow. For his chest, he would use the bench press, incline press, and dumbbell flies, performing both stiff and bent arm. Now, for those that don't understand the difference in the reasoning behind using flies, performing flies with a stiff and bent arm tends to grow more muscle, whereas stiff arm tends to work the rib cage. I would love to do a demonstration one day because it actually not just works the rib cage, but supposedly increases the flexibility of your scapula and therefore gives you a greater shoulder girth. The press behind the neck, dumbbell press, front and side lateral raise, and bent over lateral raises were performed for his delts. He would then move to arms and mainly work his biceps. Dumbbell curl standing, incline bench curl, again similar to Steve Reeves. The incline bench curl and Zottman curl were both used by Reeves. Concentration curl, and only tricep kickbacks were performed for his triceps. And I'm not surprised, seeing that he had such a heavy triceps day when you consider that he's been doing so much pressing for shoulders and chest. He'd also perform neck exercises. Now, neck exercises were even recommended by Reeves. Also, of course, he performed deadlifts, chin-ups, barbell rows, cable rows, and good mornings for a complete back workout. He would follow this up with some sit-ups, side bends, and leg raises for the midsection, and finish off with legs, squats, calf raises, leg curls, and plenty of iron boot exercises. What a workout! I mean, that must have taken him 2 to 3 hours. That's incredible. And actually, the order of the exercises is quite similar to Reeves as well. If you've read his book, Building a Classic Physique, Steve Reeves actually mentions that he always used to train his upper body before his lower body, mainly because the lower body is strong and it can actually handle the workout to be worked out later on, simply because the muscles are so large. Whereas if you train your legs first in a full body routine, you'd wipe yourself out and have no energy for your upper body. Similarly, Jim Smith followed a very similar method. It's not surprising that he developed such a classic physique. So I'll leave you with this iconic shot of the California Hercules Jim Smith. As you can see, especially from the side, his sharp nose and sharp chin. He's got those massive arms, tiny waist, very classic physique. Slightly more Herculean than Reeves, but at least for me, in first instances, he looks so much like Reeves. I'm not surprised that I was confused for a second. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm. Are you enjoying learning about these Silver Era legends? I really like featuring them because, firstly, I've never heard about these guys, and I'm sure many of you haven't either. And I find both their strength and their incredible stamina to perform these full body routines. It's just phenomenal. And I mean, what results? Look at these Herculean physiques. They're really something to be impressed at and to be motivated, I find. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment and thank you for watching. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now.